everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Miss Patty. I'm with the Education Service Center. I work here at the Early Scholars Academy. Today we're going to go down the deep blue sea. I'd like to thank our sponsor, NEC Co-op Energy, for sponsoring our Going Wild events. Now, let's talk about the deep blue sea. I have an inflatable globe here, and all the blue part is our water. So we have so many oceans, rivers, seas, Gulf, because we have the Gulf of Mexico just right out here. Now, there are five oceans. We have the Pacific Ocean, which is the largest over here on this side. We have the Atlantic, the Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean, and the Southern Ocean, which just means the Antarctic area. Now, we do have all sorts of animals that live in our oceans. And not all scientists know what kind of animals we have. There's so many and so many undiscovered. So that could be something that you can look up and see what other animals that on the deep blue sea. Now, we have animals that live on the rocks. If you go out to the jetties or go out fishing, you'll see some little crabs and things that live on the rocks. We have some that live in the sand. We have little shells, we have little scallops. Some live right in the water, like our starfish, dolphins. We see the dolphins out here by the T-heads. And then we also have some that live deeper into our oceans. As we get deeper in, you see all sorts of sea animals there. Now, we do have animals that migrate. That means they travel from one place to another. A lot of our whales do that. Some of our seals do that also. They like the killer whales. They'll migrate up and down the west coast from Alaska all the way down, so people see them there when they go whale spotting or whale watching. So we also have different kinds of birds. Same thing with them. When we see our birds coming from the north to the south, that's migration. So we have that for our sea animals also. So we have some octopus. They live deep in the water. Dolphins, seals, seahorse, starfish, crabs, and some other dolphins. So let's put this down so we get ready for our first activity. Excuse me. Yeah, we're going to talk about bubble. If you ever gone to the beach and see all the waves, how they move, well, we're going to make something kind of mimic how they move. So I have one here that is already pre-made. We have our water, oil, and the food coloring down. And you're just going to go back and forth, tilt it back and forth, and you see kind of the waves that move. Now, you'll be able to see it because the oil and the water do not mix. Its density is in that one. So you can use any kind of a water bottle that you have. I like the bottles that are a little bit thicker than the water bottles so it doesn't crinkle up, but you can use those too, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water in here. I have my pitcher of water. I'm going to fill it like a third full of water. See if I won't spill so much. About right there. Let me put this back. And I'm going to need some blue food coloring. I just need maybe like a drop or two. Well, it depends how blue you want it to be. I just put one drop. You can put 2 drops if you like. And then I'm going to fill the rest of it with oil. You can use any kind of oil. I'm going to go real slow. You can fill it up the rest of the way. That's good right about there. Maybe a little. We have that, and I screwed the lid on. What you can do is hot glue the lid if you're going to keep it like this, and then put some tape on it. Some duct tape will be fine. And then you're going to tilt it. See how it did not mix? You're going to tilt it and see how the waves move back and forth. And then you go back. And then what you also do if you want, you can add some shells in here. Let's see which ones fit. I had to find some little shells. You can find some little shells. Or you can put some little plastic sea animals in here. And move that and see how it moves around. Okay, those are the oceans in a bottle. So those are pretty fun. And then what you can do, maybe make it a different color of water that you can use. Make sure these are on tight so it does not leak. Up a little bit. And I'm going to put this tray right here. Okay, now for my next activity, what's inside a tide pool? Do you know what a tide pool is? Well, it is an area of the beach that is close to the shore, and it's surrounded by lots of rocks and big rocks. And we have like little animals that live in the tide pool. Now, I have my container here, and you can use an aluminum pan or like a cookie sheet or a little cake pan. If you have one of those that your mom or your dad is not using. Okay. What you're going to do to fix your tide pool, I have some rocks. So I'm going to put some rocks down. I'm going to put some sand in one area. Put some sand. Like so. So I have it like that. I'm going to add some rocks to it. Some shells. And I have some little sea creatures. I have a lobster. I got some little sea sponges. These are like little aquarium things that you find out and about. I got some plastic sea animals, starfish. I even have a little sea turtle. More shells, fish. Sometimes you see tiny fish, or you'll see like little scallops or oysters, some snails. Anything that you kind of find around rocks. So now, I've got lots of little animals in my container. Another rock. Now, so what I'm going to do is, when the tide comes in, it's going to flood this area. When the tide goes out, the water goes out, and you'll be able to see. That's when a lot of people would go to the tide pools. When I was in California one summer, we went down to the beach and we did see some tide pools because it was low tide, so we saw all these little shells, little animals. So I'm going to pour water in here, and this is going to demonstrate how the tide pool fills with water. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to kind of tilt it over. Fill that with water. Okay. Now, I'm going to tilt it to be able to see a little bit of it. There we go. So it's filling with water, and you see all the tide pool. Now, this will mimic high tide. So let me put a little bit more water as it fills up. Yeah. Then people see all the little animals that crawl around, little crabs, probably little shrimp maybe, some sea stars. You'll see little clams and things. So now what we're going to do, we're going to mimic low tide. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take some of this water out, put it in my pitcher. And then as the tide goes out, people will be able to go closer to the tide pool. Now there's lots of books about the tide pool you can check out from your local library. And that's when you'll be able to read more about it. So as the tide goes out, things get more shallow and be able to see all that lives in the tide pool. I'm going to put this here. I'll try not to spill. Okay, let's put this over here. Oops, my little hermit crab. Hermit crab right there. Okay, now my next one. Oh, let me kind of clean up this area. All right, my ocean animal sort. Now, when there is a link that we are able to download some of these pictures. This is from the Growing Wild series, and these are all on sea animals that live in different areas. We got the shrimp, the whale, scuba diver, sea sponge, jellyfish. What you can do is you can color them, which I did here. I just did a little coloring. You can color all of them. Okay, and then this is the sorting part. I have some blank paper. You are going to sort them on which lives on the sand or the mud, on the ocean bottom, on rocks, swimming or floating in the water, or in the air and above the ocean. What you're going to do is, I have some paper here. Now you can put all of it on one sheet of paper. Get my crayon. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to do some of like sand. So I'm going to kind of move it over here. This is going to be my sand. Now you can do 4 different sheets. Because some of the cards are large, I'm just going to do one sheet for you. Okay, there's the sand on rocks. So I'm going to make some rocks. And my rocks are kind of funny looking. Okay, now swimming or floating in the water. Let me get my blue, make sure it's blue. And I'm going to color this blue. Now, you can take your time doing this. Miss Patty is doing this a little bit in a hurried situation, but it's okay. You can color anything you want. So far I have some sand at the beach, the water, the rocks. Then the next one is up in the air. So I'm going to draw my sun. And I'm going to see if I have a white crayon, make some clouds. Oh, I got a white colored pencil, that will do. So you can't really see the white on this one, but if you had a darker color piece of paper, you can do that. So what I'm going to do is get some blue and kind of just go over the cloud, just to get a little bit of the air. So I have the air, the water, the rocks, and the sand or the ocean floor. Okay, so you're going to get a card, one of the cards. I dropped one, it's okay. And it says a crab. Now, it does help you. I want you to figure out where does this crab live. But if you need some help, right next to it, it says on the rocks or on the sea floor, on the sand. So I can go there. Now, the seahorse. The seahorse lives in the water. What about the gull? We see lots of these. These will be up in the air. So as you can see, I'm putting them where they go. But you can make 4 different sceneries. You can put one for the ocean, put one for the sand and under the water on the bottom, for the rocks. So you can make your own little beach scene and separate them. Let's do one last one. The sea sponge. Now, what do you think about that one? That one was on the rocks and down on the ocean floor because they do attach themselves to the rocks. Okay. So those are all of my cards. And then don't forget, it tells you where it lives. So if you need help, you can look at that and it'll tell you. In that area. Yeah. There. Now, this one is called Beach Grid Game. Now, I have some dice here. Got some big dice and some little dice. I have some sea animals. You can use seashells as markers. You can use all sorts of things. And there's a couple of grids. One has for 20 and one is for 10. So if you have brothers and sisters that are younger, they might need the 10 or the 20 to help them counting. That way you have some fun things to do in the summer. Okay? Now, you can either roll 1 dice or 2. I'm going to roll 1. I'll roll the big one. Number 1. So you count the dots, and then you put one of the animals or the shells on that. Roll it again. 5. Okay? So I have to count 5. Pull them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I filled up my sheet. So now what I want you to do, roll it again. 6. Now take them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll it again. 6. I only have 4. I need a 4. Roll it again until you, I got a 1. I need a 3. Whoa, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can do that with the larger one, the larger count. You can roll 2 dice together, and then you add that. 4 plus 1 is 5. So you put 5 on there, or you subtract, or fill up your card, then subtract it. So instead of taking away, you subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. So you don't take any out, or you add, okay? That's a fun counting game. And then if you don't need the grid, you can count all the shells that you have, or the little sea animals that you have. Do the same thing, count them, subtract them. Okay. Now, my last activity is comparing shells. When you go to the beach, or you find all different sizes of shells. And we happen to have different sizes of shells here at Early Scholars Academy. So I'm going to take some of these down. And what I did is I went and compared them. I compared them to their size. So we have like small, medium, and large. This should be clear on the blue better. See? Small, medium, and large. And then I did it with the same style of shell. These are like whelks. Now, this is the lightning whelk. This is the state shell of Texas. Okay. And then some little scallop shells. Here. Small, medium, large. Or fine shells that nest together. Just like that. They nest together. I found this one. They nest together. Oh wait, I found these two nest together. This one goes to that one. This one goes, here we go. Okay, see, now look. These two kind of look the same, right? But when you look at them, take a larger one. See, this one has like a rounded edge right here. This one has a straight. So they're two different shells. See? They have the straight edge. Okay, I have some other snails here. These look like for the hermit crab. Do you know the story of House for Hermit Crab? Well, this is kind of looks like his shell. So you can investigate, see what kind of ridges they are, touch and feel. If you have some Play-Doh, you can make imprints of the shells. That'll be pretty fun. And the size, I have some tiny ones. And sometimes you find a shell that has a little hole in there. And then you can make like a little necklace for you. With a piece of string or yarn, you can make a little shell necklace. Well, everyone, that's about the deep blue sea. So we had our sea animals in of the names of the oceans. So you might want to look at a globe and then see what other oceans or rivers or streams, and maybe some are near you. We had our ocean in a bottle. So you kind of see how the waves move. I put some shells in this one. And then we had this tide pool. We had a little container, put all sorts of sea animals, put water in to mimic a tide pool. We had our grid counting game. We had our animals sort where they live. Okay, and then we have the seashells, sorting of the shells by size. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'd like to thank NEC Co-op Energy for sponsoring these events. Thank you so much and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.